I'm Victoria Cooksey, and today is part 3 of our series where we've been tasting sea salt dark chocolate with various wines to see if these pairings will work. In the first video we did Pinot Noir, the second one we did Champagne, and in this third one we're going with Lohr Paso Robles 2019 Cabernet Sauvignon. And I went with a Cabernet because I wanted to have the tannin element present. Now if you're new to wine tasting, you're like, what would I know if I'm feeling tannins? If you've ever had like really strong tea or tea that's been steeped too long, you get that drying sensation in your mouth. That's kind of what I'm talking about here. Now we're going to be doing 4 bars with this. We're going to do the bar we've been doing in all the videos, the Dictator Fleur de Sel. The other one we've been doing in all 3 videos is the Raaka Pink Sea Salt. We're going to still do a Ranger chocolate bar, but this is going to be a different one. This is the Oregon one. And to add a 4th one in, I've got the Villakuyaya's Himalaya pink salt here as well, and this is an 80%er. We're going to do those 4 bars. Now let's taste the wine. Little thing, if you want to be all swirly with your wine, start with a little bit. So we're going to swirl it, we're going to smell it. Now, if it's more full, you're not going to be able to swirl it as much. So when you want to be all official and tasting and swirly, whirly, whirly, go it this way. But if you're at Chez Victoria, you're going to go this way because we're going to have fun, and this is all about enjoyment today. And again, the swirling is get the aromas to your nose so you can tell what you're smelling in the wine. With this Lohr Paso Robles 2019 Cabernet Sauvignon, let's see what we smell. Get red currant and vanilla and cherry and a bit of mushroom, and I think there's a little touch of mint in there. Now we can taste. Now again, if you want to be all official and swirly, you can go for it, which is fun too. Just watch out for your carpet and have some carpet cleaner handy because, you know, sometimes things happen. In the taste, I'm getting like plum, like fresh plum, still getting the mushroom, still getting the vanilla, and kind of some red currant coming through too. So it's pretty tasty. So is this going to work with the wine? Oh, and by the way, when I taste chocolate and wine, I don't like to look at the tasting notes first just because I like the fun of what do I get, and then looking and seeing, hey, did I get the same thing as the maker or not? So what's funny is I did taste like 1 sip of this one right before this, to be honest. And then I looked at the back of the bottle, and one of the things it recommends pairing this with is dark chocolate. So we're gonna, be putting that to the test a little bit. Okay, let's go with the Dictator Fleur de Sel bar to start off. Now, in the very first video, I talked about the flavors of this, so we're just gonna go right to the tasting. And again, with chocolate, just remember you can smell it too. And with all of these, I'm going to taste the chocolate first, then the wine after. So, because I want to let the chocolate melt a little bit first. I don't know why I like to hum when I taste, but I kind of do. I think it's a focus thing. Okay, now let's taste the wine. I like this one together. I'm still getting like the flavors that I always get in this bar, like tobacco and coffee, dark fruit, things like that. And I'm getting those. And I am also still getting the flavors of the wine, and the tannins don't seem to fight with it. So this makes me happy. So spoiler alert, Dictator has seemed to work with all 3 wines we've tried. So that could be a potential winner right there. And if you just heard some background noise, that was the garbage truck. Have you ever filmed a video at home and been like, oh my gosh, noise, noise, noise? It happens. Go with it. Okay, so I'm going to say yes to the Dictator bar with this. Okay. Oh, and also I went with a wine that's got tannins in it because in food pairing, salt can help diminish the perception of tannins in wine. So that was my thinking with the whole salt. Plus, sometimes you just want a nice bold red wine. All right, the Raaka Pink Salt. This is a 71% bar. And this one we've tasted in the other video, so I've talked about it a little more extensively. So let's taste it. you're doing this at home on your own, you can let this melt a little bit more in your mouth. It's going to give you more of the flavors, but just, again, for time's sake, I'm trying to speed us up a little bit with that. Such a different tasting chocolate bar. Okay, let's go with the wine. It's not bad, and it might actually work. Because I'm still getting notes of the bar. It diminishes it a little bit. In this bar, I get a lot of cinnamon notes and earthy notes, but also there is a brightness to this bar at the same time. So a little bit it gets muted, but it's still there. And the wine, I would say the flavors go down a bit in the wine too, but overall, it's not bad. Like, I would have another bite of that. It doesn't bother me. Okay, now, our next bar, the Oregon Sea Salt, and this cacao is from Peru. We're going to try this one. We've kind of done a Ranger bar each video because originally I bought 3 Ranger salted bars to do a video just of them, and then when I switched to thinking about doing the wine idea, I was like, okay, we're just going to use one of each in each of the 3. Let's go with that. This one we have not talked about. I don't get a lot on the nose. Let's taste. You get the salt. It's not too much in your face though. Kind of like a cocoa. Whenever I say cocoa in my notes, I kind of mean like if I've ever tasted like just straight up cocoa powder, it's kind of got that kind of cocoa note. And a little bit of oakiness too. And it seems pretty well balanced chocolate with the salt on that one. Okay, so now we're going to taste the cab with it. I feel like this almost amplifies the dryingness from the tannins. You know, that astringency. Like, I feel like it gets a little drier. But not really in a way. It's not bad, but I don't really overly enjoy it, so it might not be one I'd be like, oh, let me have another piece with this. I like the bar on its own, I like the wine on its own, but I don't really think I particularly like those two together. All right, one more. So we've had a yes, a maybe, and a I don't think so. What will the third one be? Okay, so our bar we're throwing in the mix this time is Villakuyaya. This is 80%. The cacao is from Ecuador, and their chocolate is organic. And this one is the Himalaya pink salt. And I kind of like this one because it gives us a higher percentage bar too. Since we haven't tasted this one in another video, we'll do a quick tasting with it. You know, I kind of get like a mildly toasted quinoa scent in the nose, and earthiness. Let's taste. Kind of a thicker bar. It's very, to me, very earthy. You get the salt. It's a thicker bar, so I got to give it a few more seconds here. There's a flavor in there I'm not quite decided on yet, and then almost maybe a little bit of coffee in the finish. So that's kind of an interesting bar. Take your time with that one, because I think there's some other notes in there that I haven't got yet. And that's one thing I find with tasting chocolate, like taste a piece or two, and then another day taste another piece or two, and you may find you get extra flavors you didn't notice the first time. And same with wine. Once you pour it in the glass and it aerates and it opens up a bit, sometimes how wine tastes, 30 minutes later, you might notice a lot of different flavors. So sometimes that initial sip isn't going to always tell you everything. So, you know, enjoy it and have a little bit as you go, and I think you'll notice some different flavors too. Okay, now let's go with the wine. The earthiness kind of works, but I feel like I lose a little bit of the bar flavor. And it almost makes everything have a bit of an oak taste. And Let's try one more. That one I'm undecided. I think I'm going to have to like try that again together. Because I want to say maybe on that one. Like, it's interesting enough that it makes me want to have another piece with it just to check. So I'm going to say yes to Dick Taylor. Kind of maybe to the Raaka. Ranger, I really like your bar, but I don't think it goes with the Cab. And Villakuyaya, that's a maybe. I'm going to try it again. All right. Now I think I hear another vehicle coming by outside. A very slow street sweeper, which just cracks me up, which we actually passed like an hour or so ago when we were coming home from the store, and it's just now getting to where we live. I think that's funny. I don't know why I find things like that funny. Do you? Thank you so much for joining me in this 3-part series about salted dark chocolate with wine. It's been very fascinating to me anyway. I feel like we've actually found some that work. I think the champagne worked the best overall with everything. The Cab wasn't too bad. Pinot Noir was a little more tricky, and the bar that managed to go with all three was the Dick Taylor Fleur de Sel, which is one of the easier bars probably to get a hold of. So if you've got this bar, or if not, I'd say go get it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Down below I'll have the links to all these bars. And do tell me if you try any pairings, what you thought, and give me any recommendations you got, any questions, all that jazz. And also be sure to let me know what future topics you'd like to see involving wine and chocolate. If you'd like me to do another series with different types of chocolate, with different types of wine or port, etc. Thank you so much for watching. This was fun. And now I've had chocolate and now I have wine to drink. And so how can my day be bad? I really hope you're having a good day. And if not, get out the wine chocolate and it just might be a little bit better. Cheers.